Episode 29, part 2 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters podcast. Today being the 18th day of June 2017, we're shooting from Kilimani, and we want to start by thanking our hosts for giving us this opportunity to shoot episode 29, which will be dropping the post of the week on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. We start by thanking the fans, the followers, the viewers, and the subscribers for taking your time to watch an episode of the Three Quarters podcast. And on behalf of the Three Quarters podcast, all we can say ni asanteni na shukran sana. They say rugby is a game of hooligans played by gentlemen, and the person who's joined us today on set exemplifies the very ethos of the game of rugby. He'll introduce himself later, but he's part of the Kenya Simbas, and the Kenya Simbas are trying to get us to the Rugby World Cup in Japan in 2019, where they're going to be our ambassadors and show what's good about the country that is Kenya. How do you support these guys? Jump onto the Road to Japan hashtag to garner up support for these guys, drum up support for these guys, because the truth and the fact of the matter is that the Kenya Simbas are the superstars of rugby in Kenya. This is Ngashi, official noisemaker,
Jiringus Kenyana,
and we are joined today by Newcastle Falcons and Kenya back row Joshua Chisanga. Karibu Three Quarters podcast. We start, of course, with condolence message to the family of Kenya and KCB second row and international Oliver Mangeni. Poleni for your loss and what you're going through right now. On behalf of the Three Quarters podcast, tunasema poleni sana na Mungu awe nanyi wakati huu. Part 2, guys. Rugby 101 is where we try to teach guys about the game of rugby. Is where we try to pass over this message of rugby to guys, so that when they come, especially like on Saturday, when they're going to come and see this guy in action, you don't float when guys are talking about the game of rugby on the side.
He's a goalkeeper or
something. Where guys shaking the ball in the corner. But anyway, so today's lesson is handling in the scrum, and I'll take you again back to episode 9 where we're talking about the scrum. The scrum is a way to restart play when there's been a minor infringement, let's say a knock-on or a forward pass, and it's normally the two sets of forwards, 8 guys contesting for the ball. The ball is fed through the tunnel by the scrum half, and they contest for the ball by shoving. You'll probably see him doing that on Saturday, by the way. So when the ball is in the scrum, you can only play it with your feet, not your hands, not. By the way, guys, the guys don't know English. This is not your foot. This is your foot.
The foot is this
the
bit.
Foot is this bit. Yeah, you cannot play it to the leg. Of course, if you do that, it normally results in a full penalty for the person who's caused the infringement. So that's our Rugby 101 segment, where we try to educate guys about the lingo and the game of rugby, so that when you come watch, you don't feel like you're floating. Simba Focus, our special segment, where we try to hype guys for this international season. Joshua,
yeah,
I'll ask you first. Against Germany, against Uganda, who have been your outstanding players so far? your band of brothers, who have been your guys? And don't say you.
You know the rules to this.
Yes.
Right. Darwin has been outstanding.
Yeah.
Kopo was good against Germany.
Yeah.
Right. Onsomo did well.
Yeah.
Kere.
Yes.
Kere wasn't too bad actually.
He wasn't too bad. That's
for the German game up.
Yeah.
For someone who's just come onto the squad.
Yeah.
He wasn't half bad.
Yeah.
And Aizo, when he came on for Biko,
yes,
against Uganda,
that's true.
Quite brilliant. Yeah, because the pace of the game just changed, and he brought a new life to the game.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Goose?
I think I'll agree with you, Joshua.
Yeah.
Darwin has been constantly up there.
Yeah.
But the guy who's really stood out for me would be Samson Nsomo.
Yeah.
Nsomo has quite had the 2 tests that he's had.
Yeah.
He's been quite having a game.
Yeah.
He scored in both.
Actually, he scored in both.
And his try in Uganda was quite wonderful.
Yeah.
He dove from the fire. The momentum just took him there.
Yeah.
Nsomo has been quite impressive. Isaac as an impact player coming in.
Yeah.
Uganda, and you as well. But we're here to see you now. Let's see more of you.
Let's see more of you.
By the way, when he came in Uganda, our scrums worker, we could see Nguvu imeingia.
I have one question for you, Joshua.
What's this?
There's something that happened during that game, the Uganda game. Brian Odongo, the captain for Uganda, there was an incident between you and him where he charged and the tackle that you gave him that drove him like 10-20 meters back. What was going through your mind before that? I know you told me the story, but what exactly was happening?
Well, the play before that, I saw him carry the ball, and he pretty much dented our defense line.
Yeah.
I was like, you're not going to do that again. Besides, I think that was one of the reasons why I was asked to go in, so I can stop things like that.
Yeah.
So,
is it true he looked you straight in the eyes when he was coming?
He looked straight at me and asked for the ball, and I'd like a challenge.
Like, what?
Me? Okay, let's do this then.
Let's do this then, but let's see how it, man. That was actually, and I think also the tempo of the game changed after that tackle. So thank you very much for that, by the way. So now Gold Cup is coming up. Uganda, Senegal, Tunisia, Zim and Namibia away. What do you guys? And I think we've talked about this in the other section. What would you like to see from? We've talked about the technical part. What would you like to see from the fans?
The fans, the fans never disappoint, especially when we play at home. Hey, if you can come out, and I know you can, just come.
Just come.
Come, support the boys. Like when you're there, it's a different atmosphere. You know, when you go away, and for example, we went to Madagascar, and it was packed with like 60,000 plus, and it was packed so much that there were people in the cliffs and trees trying to watch the game. It was crazy. You know, atmosphere like that, it's difficult for you to lose at home. That kind of atmosphere, and knowing that all those people showed up just to see you, put a smile on their faces. You know, so I'd urge people to just come out
in numbers. We've heard it from Joshua Chisanga, man, guys. Saturday, 24th June 2017, the Kenya Simbas are taking on the Uganda Cranes. We've always been talking about Rugby 15, so we ask you guys to come in numbers to support these guys, because I'm sure you guys are going to give us a show.
It will be an entertaining game.
It's going to sound cocky, but I'm sure we are going to beat them.
That mountain is ours.
The mountain is ours. Everything is ours.
Everything.
So you guys come out to support the Kenya Simbas this coming Saturday. Lions tour to New Zealand. And I get the feeling you're a supporter of the Lions.
Why would you say that?
It's a second home.
It's a second home.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, fine. On Friday, this past Friday, that was on the 16th of June 2017, the All Blacks hammered Samoa 78-0. On Saturday, the British and Irish Lions beat the Maori All Blacks 32-10. Next weekend, actually I think it's a good curtain raiser for us guys in Kenya, because on 24th June, then we have the first test between the All Blacks and the British and Irish Lions. You play with some of these guys who are the Lions. What do you think these guys, first, do they have a chance? Second, what do you think these guys need to do?
The three tests.
To be honest, they need to pray hard.
They need prayer.
Look, with all due respect to the team, it's a good team. It's a very good team. It's been the people who are playing in the Lions. They've been constant in the Prem. So, hey, it's gonna be a tough match. Who knew that the Maori All Blacks were gonna lose to them?
True.
You know?
And
people wrote them off after their first loss. To what was it?
To the Blues, Auckland Blues, yes.
People wrote them off, but they bounced back the following week.
That's true. They beat the Crusaders.
And then they've beaten the
Maori lost to the Highlanders.
Now lost to the Highlanders. So I think that whatever they were trying to do, I think they found a way to do it. And it's gonna be an entertaining 3 tests.
It's definitely gonna be And Goose, what are your thoughts about that? I mean, they have some exciting backs, you know, the Lee Halfpennies, the Jonathan Josephs.
But they've lost Farrell.
They've lost Owen Farrell.
But they have bigger.
They have shoulder dance.
But
they come up against a very electric backline with Sonny Bill Williams there. What are your thoughts about their chances?
SBW just damages guys actually. But however, I don't think, it will be entertaining to watch them. But I think it just might be a clean sweep for the All Blacks.
You think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be a clean sweep. But quite close. It won't be one of those 78 million. It will be one of those.
What are you trying to say about Samoa?
That was what you're telling us before we started, that half of those guys are from Samoa.
So it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad a score.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad a score. Yeah.
So I don't think they'll win again.
Yeah.
I doubt that they will win again.
Yeah.
But they'll give them a run for their money.
They'll give them a run for their money. We'll have to wait and see what happens. The first test between the British and Irish Lions and New Zealand will be happening 24th of June 2017. That's actually a very good curtain raiser for those guys in Kenya, because then after at 4 p.m. we have the Kenya Simbas take on the Uganda Cranes at the RFUEA grounds. Go Simba. Simba ni moja. Simba ni moja.
Nata guruma.
Yeah. So make a point of first catching the game. British and Irish Lions versus New Zealand. Then of course the Kenya Simbas versus Uganda. I just want to mention the other scores that happened yesterday. South Africa beat France at 7-15.
Yes.
Argentina lost to England at home 25-35, and Scotland beat Australia 24-19.
I think there's a resurgence of the North.
That's true. There's actually a resurgence, which is good for you. Because you're in the North. But anyway, those are the results that have been happening. Joshua Chisanga, we want to say thank you very much for joining us on episode 29 and giving us your thoughts. And from the Three Quarters podcast, all we can say is that we wish you the best on Saturday, 24th of June. We believe you guys are going to beat them, and in the long run, we do believe, number one, you guys are the superstars of rugby in Kenya. You give us a lot of joy every weekend when you come to watch rugby.
Indeed.
And more importantly, we do believe that you guys are going to beat Japan in 2019.
Amen to that.
Amen to that, man.
From your mouth to his ears.
Exactly, from mouth to his ears. That has been episode 29, part 2 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters podcast. We ask you guys to follow us on Instagram, to like our Facebook page, and of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is Ngashi, official noisemaker.
Jerengus Kenyana.
The big man himself, Joshua Chisanga. Stay tuned for episode 29, part 3.